We are now live. I don't know if that went live.
Or if that went live.
Or if that
you
went
stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking sausage herder.
live.
We already tried that one.
Well,
Um,
we are live. And
We apologize.
all Joker. But now my voice is all... I sat there. I was like, I was going to do it in the Joker's voice, but I'll end up with no voice by the end of the show.
He's still jacked up.
I am jacked up.
we will be experiencing a special guest this evening.
The Sandman?
No. Well, we all saw Black Panther.
Yes.
All of us are white guys.
Hmm.
BK coming.
So BK will be joining us.
Awesome.
Yay!
Get some BK up in the house.
Get some perspectives.
Yes.
Different perspective.
But,
Let me-
yes, what?
No, go on. Go ahead.
I was just going to run the credits and then we can jump right into it.
Carry on.
All right. I will carry on.
My
So,
wayward son.
hey, no Kansas in this room. Even though I love that song. I don't know why, but I really do. But I like this one too. We'll be right back.
The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. The opinions expressed do not reflect this station or any affiliated partners. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek EZ.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about? It's about nothing.
What?
Enough of that.
Huh?
Really?
Yeah. It was just chewing up on my end. It wasn't chewing up for you guys?
No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it was fine.
Oh, well. I just watched Teletran blink on and off and on and off and on and off, and I was done with it.
I've been having issues with listening to things that are streaming through Discord myself, so.
That is true. We've noticed that.
Yes. Discord is not, because it doesn't have an always-on connection, which Teletran would work much better if it did. It only has voice activation.
Anyway,
Yes.
we were doing a thing earlier before we got started.
Oh, yes.
Not saying we should continue it, although if anybody up on it, by all means, send it our way. Though I'm pretty sure we probably covered most of the good quotes.
Most of them. But we could always recite them again, because...
I am one with the sausage. The sausage is with me.
So yes, the trick is to basically take the word sausage and replace another word within a Star Wars quote. Though we should probably expand that out. If anybody wants to do it and send it our way, apply it to any film.
Sausage is futile.
Any film?
Well, maybe we can narrow it down a little.
Your biological and technological sausage will be added to our own.
Make it sausage.
Giggity.
If you find that you cannot uphold the truth, you do not stand. No, wait a minute. Hold on, I'm screwing it up. You do not deserve to wear that sausage.
You can't handle the sausage.
I serve the captain, but I stand for the sausage.
Never sausage.
Of all the people I've encountered, his was the most sausage.
That's just wrong.
Welcome to Good Sausage Home with the Good Sausage. Can't take your order.
Live
Showing your
long,
age.
live long, and sausage.
90s.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, those of you with the name, by all means, send them our way. Drop them on the YouTube or whatever. Email us, of which we will tell you at the end of the show, as we always do. And if they're good, we'll bring them back here.
Yes.
So, stuff and things happened.
Stuff and things have happened. Let's jump right into the Star Wars Rebel stuff, even though Tank hasn't seen it.
I will be seeing it eventually.
He's a man on fire.
My heart hurts.
Damn you, Chopper.
There were some feels.
Spoilers.
Also, Filoni is an evil man.
He is.
Did you watch the Rebels Recon?
No, I did not.
Alright, so you want to know what he did that was pure evil?
What?
He did not give the cast the last 2 pages of the script until they were in the recording booth and recorded. They did not know that was going to happen. And they record together.
That's all kinds of messed up.
So even Freddie Prinze Jr. didn't know?
Yeah, even he didn't know.
Surprise.
Tank, you know what happened, right?
No.
I guess it's a bad time to say I haven't seen the current season.
Well, guess what? You're being spoiled.
Spoilers.
I could always just, deafen.
Let's just say there were feels.
There
And
were feels.
It was a definite grown-up approach. I mean, it was, like I said, this whole season has been a very more grown-up version than even last season. Last season was pretty. I mean, they started off really hokey and geared towards the younger crowd, and just like Clone Wars, as the seasons went on, they just threw all caution to the wind and said, "You know what? It's Star Wars, and we're going to be Star Wars." And I enjoy it.
Yes. I did like that we're getting 2 episodes a night now, though. Or a week, sorry.
Is that going to happen from here on out?
From what I understood from Rebels Recon, yes, we will be getting another 2 episodes. We're getting next week is called A Wolf and a Door and A World Between Worlds.
Well, hello there.
Star Wars Deception.
Need to go deeper.
That's what she said.
Now, I wish I had it queued up. That did of the Solo trailer synced up with the Beastie Boys.
Oh, I can get it again.
Yeah, but then I have to run it through. Yeah, it's just easier because if I run it, I can't run it through sound through the stream,
And
and
then we'd get copyrighted.
yeah.
Can we just say how much I appreciate Donald Glover being Lando Calrissian?
Yes.
He's the one I'm looking forward to the most throughout that entire movie.
Yes. Me too. Because Lando's just.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just
Okay.
saying. Because Lando's like the character I'd rather see, actually.
Yeah, there's
I-
not a
I
whole lot about
wouldn't-
him.
I wouldn't mind if this led into a Lando movie.
Not at all.
I mean, we've seen Stranger Things happen.
You mean the show?
What I think would have been awesome and hilarious at the same time is if Glover played Lando on the screen, but then they dubbed him over with Billy D.
No, I don't think they need to.
No, I'm not saying they
Yeah.
would. I'm saying it would be great and it would be hilarious, but they're not.
Oh, just comedy skit. I'm sure when the movie comes out, I'm sure that could be done. I want to see Billy D. Williams come back in some capacity. like the
Well, he
next movie or
voiced
something.
Lando on Rebels.
Yeah, but I'd like to see him come back on like the next Star Wars movie, which I know won't happen. But I'd like to see him come back in some sort
He's
of
kind
capacity.
of up there in age, though. I don't really think he can do much.
So was Harrison Ford.
I was kind of surprised he wasn't in the background on Canto Bite.
Yeah, that'd been hilarious.
Would have been fitting for a gambler like him.
Yep. Hopefully, JJ will rectify that and say, "Hey, look what we got." I mean, because technically, we will have lost all of the main cast by that film, except for, Skywalker won't be in it the entire time.
Well, I'm sure Hamill will be in it. He can be a Force ghost.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's been confirmed.
I mean,
Yeah.
we have Chewie, but it's not even the original Chewie, really.
He's a
No, it's new
consultant.
actor. Yeah, he's
He's got it down pretty good.
What's his name? What was his name? Is it Peter Matthews?
Peter Mayhew.
Peter Mayhew.
Peter Mayhew.
The man has got a mind like a steel trap, too. The only thing I don't about the new guy is he's a lot thinner than Mayhew. He's got the height. He's just, his body is a little thinner than Mayhew's.
But you can't hardly notice, man.
I don't know. Chewie just looks a little lanky.
What they need to do is give Chewie some gray.
They live a long time.
Yeah, I was going to say Wookiees live a long time.
Yes.
Okay, I'm apparently incorrect. So far, the only ones confirmed is Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and Oscar Isaac.
So the main four.
And they're set to begin, filming in June of this year.
So even Anthony Daniels and Chewie aren't confirmed?
Chewie'd have to be there.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they just got the main four because they're probably under contract.
C-3PO costume?
I can't see why not.
Yeah. Oh my.
Well, let's just check the cast list. And by the way, isn't it crazy? I mean, we're just 2 months out from when it's a month.
Jesus.
It's a little ridiculous.
When does Thor Dark World or Thor Dark World Thor Ragnarok coming on Blu-ray?
Soon.
Very soon.
It's already out. I thought it was already out.
No, it's out on digital.
God dang it! I gotta.
But yeah, Thor, Justice League, and Star Wars all drop within 3 weeks of each other.
Jeez.
And then we've got the summer movies just right after that. So the only bad thing is this year we're not going to have a Star Wars movie at Christmas time.
No, but we'll have another Deadpool.
True.
And that's just as good.
Well, not really, but
Yeah, Anthony Daniels was C-3PO. There was nobody else listed as him.
oh. Either way. Rebels was great. Rebels was awesome. Most definitely a must-watch from here on out.
Isn't the series over?
Well, this is it. This is the last season.
Yeah, so I thought.
And
what are the new? What are the after this?
They haven't said. Though there's some thought, at least on our part, that it'd be nice if they did split it off and you'd have like Ezra and Kanan go do Jedi stuff and Hera and whatnot go join the rebellion full time as it were.
You rides. I would really like to see something from the Old Republic. Something.
Well, there was a petition that apparently got a lot of people signing up on it.
As much as I love the stuff that they're doing with the current timeline, the prequel to episode 9, as much as I love seeing stuff with that, it's time for something a little different in the film or TV era.
Problem is that once you get film guys involved, they start just tweaking and changing all sorts of things, and they're gonna.
That's fine.
They would.
That's fine because it's an open
people
canvas.
would lose their freaking minds even more.
We lost him, Alistair.
Well, he was sleepy.
He got tired, sleepy to boy.
But yeah, if you think about it, I mean, the Star Wars, like I said, episode 1 to 9, we have to start with that. Let's do something a little bit far off, something different. Where it's an open canvas, they can do whatever they want. They don't have to really follow the rules to a degree. And I think the perfect canvas is Old Republic. Everything that's Old Republic considered legendary.
Right now, all they've actually said was BioWare can do what they want, and the cinematics from what they've done are fantastic.
Well, what I'm saying is like an animated series based off the Old Republic. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Revan timeline. It could be something either further before that or in between, like during the Bane time period of the Rule of Two, because that's confirmed as canon.
And Wolfie, that doesn't work. You cut out too many words. It's phenomenal cosmic power in an itty-bitty living space.
You have confused Wolfie.
BK, welcome.
Oh, I guess I did get the quote wrong. You're right.
But yes, we do have our special random guest, Mr. BK.
Hello.
Oh, there he speaks. I thought it was broken.
Hello.
We can stop trying to do deep voices. We're totally out.
I have a goal. I'm not trying to do this on purpose.
I love the fact that we now have so many people in there that on the stream, Adam has a scroll bar.
Yes.
Which you can't even move it, so it's like, why is it even there?
Well, since PK's here, we can shift gears.
Oh, hey, and we got Firefly in the Twitch chat.
Yay!
Wait, he's got a Mac. Why has he got a Mac? No, don't be showing up and pointing that thing at us. Or that guy at us, depending on which Mac you decide to go with.
Considering he says awaiting target data, I'm pretty sure that stands for magnetic acceleration cannon.
I would presume so as well. Though Mac is a very big man.
So a railgun?
No, linear induction cannon. Different thing.
Magnetic acceleration cannon would be a railgun.
No.
It's literally...
Linear induction cannon and railgun are different things. They operate on similar but different principles. Do not challenge me on this. I will take you to school.
Yes, you will, Wolfie. Don't do it.
Looks like class.
But if you're saying magnetic acceleration cannon, that could be a railgun. That is the basic principle of a railgun.
Except in this particular game, it's a Mac cannon. That is a cannon. It uses coils, not rails.
Excuse me, I don't Halo.
We tried to warn you there, Wolfie.
Ladies and gentlemen, class is in session.
Poor BK walks in on it.
And Firefly's up and BK's just like, nerds!
Yeah, I may be a nerd, but probably not on the same level as most of you guys, so...
It's probably just in different ways. I bet you if we started talking like Dragon Ball Z, you'd probably school us.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Or Super.
Oh, man.
Which, by the way, that last couple episodes have been Awesome.
No, it's been a field trip. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for the series hiatus / wrapping up next month. So we'll have to see what's up.
They haven't said that there's going to be more. They basically said it ends at 131.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they said Dragon Ball is always going to be back in some way, shape, or form, and I know we're getting a movie at the end of the year, so I'll take what I can get.
Is there many solid he's going to be about?
About the history of the Saiyans, so it might actually get a little bit more. So, they've been dropping. Toriyama's been like opening the book on a whole bunch of stuff. And now, like, certain things that used to not make sense are making more sense. Or for some people, it's making them scratch their heads a little bit more. So we'll have to see what's up with that.
I like Dragon Ball. I'm watching guys named Carrot and Vegetable fight people.
Because they make it fun?
All I can say is shonen, and that's the answer to your question. It's a shonen. You're basically consistently fighting, getting stronger, beating the crap out of things, yada yada yada. Cycle returns. As long as you make the story at least halfway compelling, or at least make a likable character, you should be fine.
Or if you're One Piece.
If you're One Piece, it just won't.
It's just a story that never ends.
It's just a story that never ends.
Is it One Piece still going?
My friends.
No,
Yeah. According to Oda, I think he said that he's not even halfway through the story yet.
I think that he's not even halfway in. How long? Oh, geez. I think, though, in the case of Dragon Ball and all that, I think the abridged guys should get some credit on kind of restarting that craze.
Yeah.
Well, 'cause it was pretty dead. Until
Say was that much so that, I mean, yeah, I'll give him credit for keeping at least some people interested, but I mean, mind you, what they did that special in 2008, celebrating the anniversary of the series, and then when maybe made gods, and then because people got hype off of the Battle Gods movie, then we got Resurrection F, and then they're like, okay, maybe we should actually make a series out of this.
Well,
Don't forget, Dragon Ball Z Kai started in 2009.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Which I did see the interaction where I can't remember who the guy who does Nappa spoke with. Or he showed up at a convention where the guy who does the voice of Vegeta was at.
Yeah,
and he didn't say who he was at first. And he's like, "So you guys are doing a show, a new one? Yeah, it's called Dragon Kai, and it's what, kind of an abridged version? Yeah, that's pretty much how you describe it." And then he went into Nappa mode. He's like, "Oh, way to go! A few years late, assholes."
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious.
And then they went and they interacted. It was fun to watch.
Apparently, One Piece is currently 825 episodes long and still going.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so to One Piece.
I wanted to get into it, but then I realized how much of it was there, and I'm like, there is no way.
They had a reset jump point with a major time skip back, I think, on chapter 600, and it was kind of funny because it was like around that period of time they did a time skip. Bleach had done a time skip at that point, and I think Shippuden was starting around that time. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a shot. And I think I followed for a few weeks. Then I think I missed for a period of time, and then when I tried to jump back in, I had no idea what was going on. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm good.
See, here's the thing that we talk about anime. Roland's not here. You know it a lot better than we do, but we can talk about something that we all know because we all watched it.
Get hype.
How many times have you seen it now?
As of Monday, 3 times.
I've seen it once, and it was actually, we almost didn't get a seat on Sunday at 4:35. Which surprised me. And then the show after us was sold out.
Yeah. My first viewing was on Thursday. Full packed house. and that was an experience. Then Saturday morning at 10 a.m., mind you, there was still a line wrapping around on the outside. Stepped in, full packed house again. Every showing I've gone has been full to the brim. I mean, you don't even. I mean, what more can you say after that?
Say, I haven't seen packed houses like that probably since
Maybe Force Awakens.
The Avengers. Force Awakens, yeah, was pretty full, but I didn't actually see a huge line.
Yeah, I think. I mean, well, I mean, my area is kind of. I mean, some areas are a little bit more population dense, but yeah, it depends on the movie.
They were prepared for Force Awakens. They had laid out lines and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so when I got there, I was just like, I see all this preparation. It's like, was it really that bad? And they go, oh yeah, it was packed wall to wall. Only an hour or two or so before I got there.
Yeah.
The first showing of Wonder Woman I went to was packed like that.
Yeah, I think my first go around with Wonder Woman was mostly it was pretty damn full, but I mean there was still like a few spots open in the front. But I mean that was also pretty awesome. But
it's kind of funny when we got our seats, we're like, oh look, there's 3 seats right there, and my buddies get their seats, and I look and I was like, oh okay, that one's for wheelchairs, so don't get that one. I'll get the one right next to it, no problem. So we go over. Go in to go get our seats, and one buddy gets his, I get mine, and the other one's looking at the space where his seat would be, and it turns out that was for the other wheelchair. And he's like, oh, that's not what I thought that was going to be. Luckily, it was an easy fix, and he was able to get a seat like way up in the nosebleed front section.
Those freaking nosebleeds. See, you have the nosebleeds or the neck breaks if you don't watch yourself, man.
Right.
I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to say this is Marvel's best film since Civil War. Not Civil War, since Winter Soldier.
Yeah. That's my honest opinion. I mean, there's movies that I've liked since Winter Soldier. I mean, there might be some here and there that get kind of close, but for me, this was. I mean, when you really break it down, it is like kind of standard superhero plot fare or whatever, but it
was put together perfectly.
Oh, dude, yeah,
very well crafted.
There was so much put in play here, and I think I remember when they were initially talking about they were doing the film because I mean how well T'Challa was received in Civil War, and I was like, all right, well, this is kind of cool or whatever. Then they started talking about who was helming the movie, who was, starring in different roles. When they said Coogler was directing it, I mean, I'd seen Fruitvale Station. Definitely one of the most heart-wrenching movies I've ever seen. Creed, one of my favorite. I mean, it's up there on my favorite Rocky movies, and it's definitely, it's just great. Then you had...
It's an awesome movie.
Oh yeah. Then you have they had Coogler. They said that Ludwig Göransson was going to come back. Ludwig, I mean, he's done a lot of different random music stuff here and there, but I mean, he scored TV shows. He scored Creed. He scored a lot of different. And I mean, I loved the music in Creed, so I was really hyped up. But I mean, he's also done producing for Childish Gambino and other R&B and rappers or whatever. And then they said, all right, they're going to pull in Michael B. Jordan for the villain. And when I saw like these, normally if I got these 3 in the movie, I mean, it's not going to go wrong. And as they kept talking about more of what they were doing with the film, the cast and all that, and when they kind of laid out the entire cast, I was like, if this movie isn't fire, it's going to set us all back. And holy shit, that movie fucked me.
Here's our one.
You know what? We're going to allow it.
Sorry.
You know what? Because
PK's earned it.
Because I mean, being a white guy, and I walked in, and you know what? It was a fairly mixed crowd.
Yeah.
I was quite impressed with the mixed crowd that was going on. And I was like, I'm sitting there watching this film, and I'm sorry, Okoye, I think it's Okoye.
Yes.
Oh, dude, fell in love within like the first 5 minutes. I couldn't. Every time she was on screen, I was like, "Yep, I'm all good.
Yeah.
All good."
Yeah. Denai Guerrera. She's from basically what eventually became Zimbabwe or whatever. I mean, people know her primarily as Michonne from Walking Dead. And she just killed the role. There was just so it seemed like they had picked something right and proper for every single thing.
They did.
And I think the one part that really I mean when everything wrapped up, all tears, whatever, people were shoot, I shed a few tears during the movie. But there was a lot of symbolism from what I've seen over there, because I'm a second generation I guess American. Both my parents came from West Africa. They both came here in the 70s or whatever. They had me like 10+ years later, whatever.
Doesn't that make you first generation?
I guess first or second. I don't know. People were saying like, I was trying to explain this to somebody else the other day. They're like, "Oh no, you're second generation because since your parents were the first ones to come over, so they should be first gen." I'm like, but I'm technically first gen, born here.
You're first gen.
You're first gen. Whoever said that doesn't know what they're talking about.
Thank you.
They would be the immigrants, and you are the first gen. So, I mean, it sounds bad when you say it that way, but
and a lot of the stuff that was discussed, in the movie, especially with Killmonger, it really struck a chord with me because let me drop a mini story. So about 9 years ago, I went to my parents' home country for the first time. I was like 21 at the time, blah blah blah, whatever. And you go there, and even though you are of the descent, and all that type of stuff, even though you were not raised there, they kind of, it's like even you got the button or whatever, and even if you might speak the language or whatever, they'll still kind of see you as an outsider in a way. And when when all that was going on, and he was kind of speaking out, just like, I'm not gonna lie, I teared up because that hit home. And I don't think there's been a while, like in a long time in a while, that I sympathize with a lot of stuff, because with all the social political changes going on here and there, I understand, but it just really kind of gets to you when you kind of really you find yourself kind of empathizing with the guy who's trying to burn everything down, because he kind of in a way I guess symbolizes a lot of the far more radical sections of people who I guess how some groups of people within Pan-Africanism have kind of fallen and kind of felt that everything is bad, whatever, yada yada yada, and all that. But it really struck a chord with me because outside of him probably being my favorite villain since like forever, it was his relatability, like with all the stuff that they did in the movie, with all the crazy space stuff, everything that you would normally see in standard superhero movies, because there's so much of the plot that's so heavily grounded that it's so well interwoven that it, as said, you got a lot of people of color looking at this movie and they're just staring at this and going, well, damn, we have something we can turn to. You can, like, I think I was with a few folk after the movie, and you see a little small group of black kids standing in front of the movie poster, and they're pointing out characters from the movie that they said that they are, and they've never been able to do that before. There's been movies with black heroes. You got Blank Man, you got Meteor Man, you have Blade, and all that type of stuff. But
Falcon.
Falcon and all that, but this is the first time that we've had a movie. It's centered in Africa. We're not drug lords. We're not slaves. We're not these ignorant group. Whoever. This is Afrofuturism at its finest, and it set off so many questions because people heavily think, or a lot of the executives feel that you need to aim for one core demographic with these superhero movies, which is like the young Caucasian male, but with to make your movie successful. But you see how people came out in droves for this. So, I mean, this is just going to open the Pandora's box of diversity, and I mean, it's going to be awesome.
Should definitely get the message across that the common traditional thought was wrong.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
Now, and I said this to you, BK, after I saw the movies, I think the best part of that film was Michael B. Jordan, because they created a villain that you were simultaneously rooting for and not rooting for, because you can get where he's coming from. You just don't agree with what his methods.
Oh man, that really got to me. And I think and there's, I mean, my muggle job, I'm doing substitute teacher work. I'm working with a lot of these trouble kids or whatever, or a lot of the emotional deficiency kids, so a lot of the kids that are, got a lot of anger issues, all that type of stuff. And some of them saw the movie this past weekend, and we were standing, we're in the middle of like resource class, so it's just basic conversation or whatever. And one of them told me that like he was pulled for Killmonger so hard because he got him, and the one thing that always stuck out to him was the last line he said in the movie. I'm gonna quickly pull it up because sorry, like it's just such a strong quote that it's just here we go.
I was gonna say, if you can, while you did for that, we were gonna quickly cover just the numbers to prove how nuts it is, but go ahead.
all right, but before you guys drop in the numbers, so here was the quote: "Burn me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships because they knew death was better than bondage."
Yeah, that
is a very potent quote, and that can apply to anybody at anywhere.
Yeah.
Although obviously it has a lot more meaning too.
Yeah, I mean, people that were on the ship. So
the other stuff that got me was his anger towards the actual Wakandan government. It's like, where were you?
Yeah,
where were you? And it was like, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
and it's not only that's not even a black or a white thing. That is like, you're watching this all around you. Where are you? What are you doing?
And in a weird ways, also like it's kind of like a silent side shot to governments that are in power that have the ability to help out with this stuff, but they do nothing. There is so much, like, there are so many minute details in like things that are said that you don't really think about, you don't really catch until like you see it again and again and again. Like, I was watching this Vanity Fair video, and it didn't really click to me till like the director pointed out himself. In the South Korea scene, Okoye, Nakia, and T'Challa, they're kind of dressed up or whatever for the occasion, trying to make it in. Did you know that those three colors that they were wearing were based around the Pan-African flag? Okoye's dress was red, T'Challa's outfit was black, and Nakia's was green. Those are three colors on the flag. He said he did that on purpose. The blue vest on Claw, that he said that partially symbolizes colonization and colonialism. He put that on Claw for a reason. I mean, there's just little blips that they throw here and there that kind of you don't really catch until like you really think about it. And there's just, as I said, there was just so much going on in the movie, and I don't know, man. You guys do your numbers bit for a little bit. I mean, I could keep going on for days.
Honestly, this is beyond refreshing. You have no idea because seriously, we're just a bunch of white guys. And when this movie came out, it was like the perspective we're going to have on this is so much different. Because I mean, I saw the social stuff in there, and the fact that, yeah, like you pointed out, it's like this is like one of the first movies where the entire cast is African, and it was like I call it white, black. Those are the terms I know.
It
was like
fair enough.
Okay, it's just I don't know. I mean, what term would you prefer I use?
No. I mean, I'm cool with white, I'm cool with black, I'm cool with African American.
Okay.
I mean, just speak natural, man.
Okay, so
the moment you say it, he's gonna be like, "What you saying?"
Yeah, we're just avoiding that. You know what I'm saying. We're avoiding that.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact, it was like it was just like they're not drug dealers. They're not this. And while they did touch on some of the stuff that happens to the youth, the black youth in this country, and some of the older scenes, and when you see Killmonger as a boy and that kind of stuff, but it was just like, dude, these guys are awesome. It was like, when was the last time you saw a scientist that wasn't some old white dude?
Hmm?
Tony Stark. And it was like, I was in awe watching this. I'm like, you know what? This is like, there. I sat there and I was very, very much aware of my own color. And I usually I don't, because I don't like to think in those
Marvel
ways.
had she was Korean, wasn't she? The one scientist
yes,
with the regenerative thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to be honest, if this was, because I myself, and I am trying to raise my kids this way, it's like, you cannot deny what has happened, but you can't look at a person and judge them by out a person's outward appearance like that you can judge them on. It's who they are that you judge them on.
Exactly.
But like I said, there have been a few times throughout my life. I was very much aware of my color when I was in like Arkansas about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Extremely, extremely aware because of the racism I saw there. And it made me uncomfortable because it was like, you know what? Please do not lump me in with you. The way you talk and the way you talk to people, I can't talk that way. It's disgusting. It makes me ill inside. And it was just like, I was very aware in a theater that was a very mixed crowd. There was black, white, Asian, you name it. There was a lot of people in this theater. Everybody cheering and everybody just like, yeah. It was awesome. Just the energy. I was very aware of what color I was. This is freaking me out. Not to the point where I'm like feeling guilt of any sort, that kind of way, but I was aware that for the first time, what I was watching on screen was something new to me because they don't look like me, and yet but it was a whole new experience, and it put things on the other end, because for the first time, there was nobody on screen that looked like me, and the ones that did look like me were complete assholes.
Oh well, I wouldn't call Ross an asshole. He just kind of
yeah.
He was just over it. He was just over his head a lot.
Yes.
We've all seen the joke about him and.
M'Baku. Man.
No. The joke about
the Tolkien guy.
The Tolkien white guys.
Yes. I thought that was hilarious.
But it worked.
But I will say, if because that right there, it was eye opening. It was refreshing. It was almost. It wasn't that I was uneasy, but it was just I was very aware all of a sudden, and it was just like, ooh, wow. And it didn't take anything away from my enjoyment of that movie, because seriously, that movie kicked so much butt all over the place. It was like reading a comic book. The first half hour of that film was literally framed and written like a comic, and it sucked me right in. I was like, man, if this is awesome, this is beyond awesome. And then Okoye showed up on screen, and it was all good for me. Honestly, I could not stop. I kept turning to my buddy Brian and going, oh my God, I am in love right now. And it was just like, It was just like, not only, honestly, she should go bald more often. She is just gorgeous.
Oh yeah, she's
But-
rocking the short hair look now, and I
Oh.
mean, rocking a little bit of She even got like put a little bit of African designs like in the back of her like her hair. So I was just like, dang, this
And
is
it was-
legit.
And it was, and it's just like, I mean, it was one of those. It's funny because to this day I still have a hard time finding Asian women attractive, but and that's not so racist of me, but I really don't.
No, you have your
Asian-
preference. I mean, this is what it is. Call
Yeah.
it like he sees it.
And you know what? It's not the first. I mean, it's like there are dozens of black women out there that are attractive, and just some that are drop dead gorgeous. And I mean, I'm sitting there, and literally, it was like every time she appeared on screen, I would just do that. And I was just like, oh, I mean, and everybody was just like, my buddy was just like, what? I was like, I just can't stop, man. It was like she smiles and the whole screen lights up, and it was like, oh, she made the movie for me. The whole film is like, put her back on screen. Put her back on screen. I don't care if she's kicking somebody's ass or not. Put her back on screen.
She had a very strong presence.
Yes, she had an extremely strong presence on screen.
And sure, he's stealing almost every scene she was in. Mother of God. Like I wasn't expecting the water those comments, so when that happened, I died. Like the whole theater erupted in laughter. It was great. There were so many memorable characters. The one that I really kind of, I mean, after the movie, the one we were talking about the most. I mean, I said we loved everybody, but M'Baku. M'Baku is the guy, man. Like he he almost stole the scene. Like every time half the stuff he said it in such a way. This is like stuff I could hear my aunts say, and it was just like kind of killing me. Like every time he'd pop up on screen, because he like it was just great. It was like, we will not allow tradition to be taken away by this girl. We will not have it all. I'm like, oh my god, it's like I'm laying down. It's like I'm sitting down getting lectured by one of my aunts right now. It's like this is killing me.
A beautiful example of the trope large ham.
Yeah. Are you done? Are you done?
Another word, and I will feed you to my children. I'm sorry for doing the accent. I am.
Yeah.
We are vegetarian.
I loved M'Baku, but my only problem with M'Baku is it caused people to miss just how awesomely over the top Andy Serkis was as Claw.
Yeah, dude. Serkis's Claw was one of my favorite parts about that movie, because
I loved Serkis's Claw, but I'm glad he wasn't in the whole movie.
Yeah, I wanted him to stick around just a little bit longer. I felt they kind of dropped him out a little too soon, but I'm hoping he comes back in some way, shape, or form, because like the character himself is kind of like
that's what I was going to say. One of the big things about Serkis's Claw in that movie that a lot of people aren't going to realize is his take is kind of a deep dive on Claw in the comics, because in the comics, Claw gets turned into a being of living sound and slowly gets crazier and crazier and crazier as the years go on. And so he brought that to the screen just in a great manic way.
Yeah, like he had me cracking up, and
it's not a funeral.
Put some music on. Oh yeah, and he confirmed what was on Claw's soundtrack. Apparently, there was a lot of jazz and rock and a mixture of stuff. So yeah, apparently he had a pretty good SoundCloud playlist.
Now I think now it's amazing just in the little bit of the cultures from Africa, from all over Africa, that it blended so much into it. And the little bit that I know of things here and there, trying to explain to my 11-year-old son after watching the movie why Killmonger had the scars.
Yes.
And he was like, well, what was that all over? I was like, those were scars. And he was like, well, why did he do that? I was like, because in certain cultures around Africa, and different countries in Africa and different tribes, that the warriors would scar themselves as a badge. And he was like, oh, And he goes, and all those were, he said he scarred himself for everybody he killed. He's like, his whole body was covered. I was like, yeah. And he's like, that's a lot of people. I was like, well, yeah, that's the whole point. It was that this is what led him. He did this so he would be able to do what he did.
Yeah.
And I think it actually, he might, because right now they're learning about the South American tribes in school. And I'm pretty sure this opened his eyes.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of questions. And I was like, dude, it is so rich when you go back in the stuff that you read. And I don't know how much they'll touch on it in school, because I know they're just glossing over a lot of the native tribes here in the Americas.
Yeah.
Because they have to fit so much in within the year. I was like, I know 25, 30 years ago when we touched on it, we did an entire semester on four of the tribes in Africa from around the continent.
Yeah.
And that was about it. And it was like the stuff that comes out on it, the impact that this movie is going to have just in the young of any color at this point. It was just like,
dude,
we need more.
Everyone was doing that handshake between Shuri and T'Challa over the last several days, like I've seen at the school.
And there's been a whole lot of folks who've, that may not have been big on Marvel films or just superhero films at all, and just like they've gotten really excited.
Yeah.
Like, because representation matters.
Yeah.
Especially good representation.
Yeah. Like, so they've pulled some stuff from West African culture. The English-based accents that they use are something that's kind of like a mix of something a little bit South African, but a little something West African. They've pulled some of the outfits from East Africa. The native language that they use is heavily based on the South African language, because the guy who plays T'Chaka, John Kani, he's from South Africa, and the one who played the younger version of him in the movie is actually his son.
Oh, nice! I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, his actual son. So they kind of based it heavily off of South African language, and it's just awesome that they've taken this melting pot of all these different tribal ideas and all that stuff, and they found a way to work it in. And it's just so, man, it's like it I was one of the people that on that Thursday, like I wore one of my formal family tops, because I couldn't find the bottom, and I didn't have like my kufi or whatever. But it just kind of lifts your heart a bit, because I've always kind of had a pride of that part of my my makeup, my being, or whatever. But for that to see that, and it was just crazy. Like it really, I don't know, man. It just like quadrupled my pride by like so much, because it's just, you get to see aspects of your people done in a way that, this is stuff we've all, like a lot of us knew, and we were proud of, but to see everyone be such big fans of it, to see it so supported and viewed and loved, it's touching. Like I could try to find words for it, but I can't.
Firefly is agreeing with you in regards to Claw, that they could have done more with him. It seems a shame to kill him off. He also suspects that Killmonger was genre savvy enough to make sure he stays dead.
Yeah, I would hope that he
well, the problem is, like I said, is they already let Circus be so over the top with Claw. I just don't know that you could make him the primary villain for a movie.
And that's true, because comic wise, I mean, Claw and Killmonger, while they're two of T'Challa's more well-known villains, I don't think they could have held the entire film themselves, or either one of them solo. Because as great as Claw is, as one of Black Panther's like normal like nemesis or whatever, he also messes around with Fantastic Four. He's fought Hulk on appearance at times. But he's more known as a Fantastic Four villain, although messes around with T'Challa often.
I don't know why he's known more as a Fantastic Four villain though, because his rivalry to T'Challa is what he's all about.
Yeah, and they've been recently highlighting that a lot more. I'm guessing they're trying to capitalize off the film or whatever, but it's like you kind of see him in those other medias more often, not so much so with T'Challa as much these days, but it's good to see that happen.
Well,
Killmonger.
The problem is Claw hasn't been a serious adversary in the comic books in years. Like when he first appeared and he was sane, he was really, really dangerous. But as he's gotten crazier, he's become almost like Dr. Light was for a long time in the DC universe. He talks a lot and just does dumb stuff.
And then he gets raffle-blarged. But
he's kind of overall, at least comic-wise, he's kind of a weak character in general. And even Firefly points out that lots of MCU villains have the same kind of curse. There's not really a whole lot of depth to them to really work on, so they have to build them up to make them good villains, especially for film anyway. So and Firefly also points out, he said it before, that sonic weapon is very scary.
Oh yeah.
You know what's really sad? Oh, go ahead, Alistair.
So at least they didn't do like they did in like the most recent animated shows with Claw, which would have been the sort of over-top thing you would expect from the Marvel films so far, which is he got into the Vibranium Mountain and then literally became one with a near Vibranium overload.
Yeah.
That
would have been kind of semi-lame, I guess.
Yeah. When I started reading Marvel comics, because I was more of a DC fan, and I'm trying to think of some of the black characters from DC. I mean, we had Black Manta.
You had Bloodwing,
and a few others, but there weren't.
Was it Black Lightning?
Black Lightning.
Yeah.
And Black Lightning's book disappeared for a long time. So I mean,
I
had Black Vulcan.
Oh, dude,
we had Black
Vulcan and Black Lightning are basically the same.
Yes,
character.
and the only reason they couldn't use Black Lightning is because they didn't have the rights, which is why they created the exact same character and just changed him his name. But when I started reading the Marvel comics, I had no idea that the Black Panther was African. Not a clue, because they always had him masked.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until later when all of a sudden I saw him unmasked, I was like, whoa. Okay, well, that makes sense now. But it was like, that was one of the things I was like, you know what? Was he masked just because of the social stuff of when he was created?
Well, you know what's really weird? He has an adopted white brother.
I did not know that.
In the comics.
I forgot about
it. White Wolf or something?
Yes.
The History Channel has a series going on, Comic Books Decoded, and they just did a long thing on the black characters that were introduced, that Marvel introduced.
Yes.
And between whether it was Luke Cage or the Falcon, and the fact that the Falcon was the first when he came in, and that he was an equal to Captain America, and that was huge back then. It wasn't that he was a sidekick; he was Captain America's partner. He was an equal, and it was a big deal. And you actually saw him; you saw his face. And then there was the Black Panther, who was basic. I mean, I think maybe he was first, but again, he was completely covered.
Yeah, he was completely covered. I know that's I think a design choice that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, I guess, kind of decided on. I mean, even though they did talk about Wakanda and everything, he was pretty much often like masked or whatever. You didn't see T'Challa's face that often, but to have a character that I like in comic wise, like intellectually stands up to people like Stark, Reed Richards, and them. It's pretty awesome. I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to continue doing that so much show in the movies because it looks like they're aiming to have Shuri be more so that than T'Challa himself. But I mean, I guess they said like he designed his suit from Civil War, so I mean, maybe they'll show that here and there. Or at least I'm hoping that they'll show that here and there. One thing I did like though was they kind of kept true with in the vein of T'Challa's not really had a great record against Killmonger in a fight. Actually, I think he hasn't even beaten him 1-on-1
in the books.
Yeah. He's won sometimes, but it's normally either with assistance or something else. Like I think de facto, like 1-on-1, he hasn't beaten him straight up. And like and Killmonger, I mean, in the comics they're not related either. But the one thing that they did keep in line with was his tie to Claw, because if I remember right, Claw had a lot of Wakandan, children, orphans or whatever. So he kind of took them in under his wing, kind of did the whole, child war soldier, war dog thing or whatever. And I mean, he ended up going back to Wakanda, trying to take the mantle of king or whatever. Actually beat the crap out of T'Challa, threw him off the waterfall, like how it happened in the movie. So that was fun. And the whole thing with him was he never took the heart-shaped herb. Like this guy was like unreasonably Debo himself from all of his training and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, he's a dedicated. I mean, he's a SEAL. Come on, those guys are a little out there anyway.
Like I'm like, he's like he's taller, bigger, stronger, all that type of stuff. And there was a period of time that, if I remember, I think T'Challa was off the map for a bit. So Killmonger decided that, all right, I'm just going to be a better Black Panther. So he actually got the uniform, everything. He even tried to go to the Avengers and say, with his little pet jaguar with him, he was like, hey, so here's your Black Panther, let me in, and all that type of stuff. I think I saw like a page of that on Facebook the other day. I was like, I'm probably going to go back and try and catch up or reread that.
We'll say there is some weaknesses with the story. Overall, the story was very well crafted, but the part about, he was the son of, how do you pronounce the name?
N'Jobu.
Thank you. And I was like, and that don't mean jack squat diddly. You have no claim to the throne. It doesn't. That's not how the bloodline works. Not in most of those systems that I'm aware of. It doesn't matter that he had a brother. His brother's just first in line in case the king dies and he didn't have an heir. Oh, look at that! He's got an heir. Yep, tough luck, kid.
Apparently, it's standard in Wakanda that anybody of royal blood can challenge.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like any leader can certainly challenge, because any leader of the tribes can.
They do offer that path. But I mean, they say first they ask for those, and then after that they're like, okay, well then anybody royal wise wants to do it. And since you technically have royal blood at that point, I think that was also part of the reason why they made them related in this movie. Was because they wanted to, I guess, figure out a way to kind of shoehorn that in. His hairstyle also was a light nod to the original Killmonger, because the original Killmonger has like a huge head of dreads or whatever that goes like all the way down to like his lower back. So they just decided to do like that little tidbit for Michael B to kind of do like a minor nod to that.
Speaking of I guess reinterpreting, I guess we can say that the MCU has officially successfully redeemed 2 Human Torches.
Yeah, saw that meme the other day. Yep, they redeemed the first Human Torch by making him Captain America, and a damn good one at that. And then they redeemed the second Human Torch by making him something. And I keep trying to tell myself that Fan Force stick never happened, but I seem to get reminders every now and then.
What's sad is he was the only part of that movie that was worth watching.
Yeah, he was the only saving grace.
Also, Killmonger's attire. Can we just say that he was the prince of all Wakandans?
Yeah, I didn't make that like click until like I think I saw that picture like yesterday, and then I saw it again today, and I was just like, yeah, it just didn't really click till now.
Just a saying.
Bad puns, bad puns.
Okay, now
I want to get this in because I have to run off and do something here real quick. I personally, and of course this is an out there fan theory just to myself, don't actually think Killmonger's dead because, one, T'Challa says we can still heal you, and then two, we don't actually see his burial.
Yeah, I think he's pretty dead, dude. Once you take this,
Yeah, he pulled that out, dude, and that's instant bleed out.
yeah, you're not coming back from that if you don't get it healed right away.
Yeah, but you also don't generally walk again after getting shot in the spine.
True.
Yeah, but they also used
He was
their
still alive.
technology
That's
to
the
fix
difference.
him up.
Yeah,
Remember, they
man,
kept the Koyu bead to keep the Kimoyo bead to keep him alive.
Yeah, I mean, he was still alive at that time, so in that guy's case, sure, the advanced technology fixes his spine. Yep, totally get it. He was still alive and beating. That spear came out from the chest area. He's screwed.
Yeah, and I think that was like what, heart lung area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was dead center chest.
Oh yeah,
But
he's gone.
But we think this thing is, one, Marvel, nobody stays dead,
True.
and two, the scene ended right after he slumped over, so we don't honestly know what they did right after that.
No, it didn't.
I think Firefly kind of hit the nail on the head. I believe T'Challa would have honored that request.
Maybe,
Totally out of left
probably.
field on this one. I had no idea. Well, it's just like there's a whole lot of things going. This movie was the cinematographer on this movie was a woman,
See,
Rachel Morrison.
diversity,
Woman's
folks.
got a good eye. Woman's got a great eye.
There's nothing wrong with diversity, folks. You just need to get over yourselves.
Like there was this one conversation about one of the things they did in between takes, and I'd heard about it and I thought it was hilarious. So over at the Warrior Falls scene, right? I think the first go around, and they have all the extras, and everyone's just kind of doing the thing. They have the drummers playing the drums, and I think they were in between takes, and the drummers just decided to just start playing the drums just for giggles, and they started playing Snoop Dogg's "Drop It Like It's Hot." Everyone started singing along.
Nice.
So Daniel Kaluuya, the guy who was like in Get Out, who played a freaking I'm trying to remember his name. I'll look up his name later. He was cracking up. Like he was like, man, I don't want to leave this job. Like they all the main cast were talking about how I guess everyone really bonded and really enjoyed the experience and all that. So I think it's a good thing.
Well, the cool thing is with Marvel ending the reign of Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor with the 2 Avengers films that are coming up. That leaves Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Spider-Man. I think the Guardians are going to keep going.
Yeah.
But that means that they're going to I would really guess that in that realm they're going to have Black Panther, and I would be very surprised if they give Captain America to Bucky. I think that's going to Falcon. I really do.
I kind of lean towards Falcon, yeah.
I'm just thinking in the books right now, the Falcon was the better captain, or that Sam was a much better Captain America than Bucky was. Bucky was just like Steve Light.
Yes.
Sam made the role.
Yeah.
I'm
feeling it.
I would really think, because they're saying that though Black Panther is going to be playing a major role in the next phase of Marvel films, especially since they're saying it's going to go more sci-fi.
Especially, well, that's presuming they do phases. They haven't decided that yet.
That's true. They might not do another phase, but they're saying that the direction is going to go more cosmic, which Wakanda runs that line and that kind of stuff. And
if they're going that route, you best believe we're probably going to definitely see that F4 soon. And no one does cosmic better than Fantastic Four.
Presuming that they
that deal is still a little bit in limbo.
Well, I mean, yeah, fingers crossed.
Well, Marvel's already gone cosmic.
Yeah, but they're going to go with the addition of they just
Captain
did it
Marvel.
right now with Captain Marvel, Thanos being the bad guy in the Avengers films, with the introduction of the vibranium in Wakanda and all that. and its cosmic relation like stuff.
We
So
need a Howard the Duck, Cosmo the Space Dog buddy cop movie.
And then
Get out.
It's just part of me died inside hearing that.
That's right.
Well,
I wonder how many of them are coming back for.
I know
For
just
what?
about for Infinity War. I think
For Infinity War.
I think just
We
about.
know M'Baku's in Infinity War.
Yeah, everyone who's had like a kind of like a main role that's still like in character wise alive, I think is going to appear in some way, shape, or form. I know.
75 characters.
Yeah, it's gonna roll deep, and I mean I'm kind of interested to see how the Black Order is going to be done because that's one of my favorite groups. But I mean I know they said that I think Avengers Infinity War is supposed to be part 2 of like that little mini Hulk arc that they're doing, and then the 4th movie is supposed to wrap it up. So I'm not sure where they're going to go with that because I was actually looking at the ages of some of these guys the other day, and I'm like, the good majority of these guys are like pushing 50. Like, Paul Rudd's almost 50.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. is almost 55. Mark Ruffalo just turned or is about to turn 50 later on this year. Don Cheadle's like 52 or something. Like a lot of these guys are kind of getting up there, but if
that really stops them. I mean, come on.
It doesn't really stop them. But,
go.
Yeah,
Downey said he'll. From what I heard, Downey said he'll play.
As long as
is Tony Stark as long as they'll let him.
Yeah, and I'd be cool with that. I mean, his little bits in Homecoming were pretty nice. I heard light rumors that Coming 2 was going to be start giving us a nod to multiverse, which would be kind of cool. But we'll see about that. But I guess if the Avengers roster that they have kind of mapped out for I guess the comic series that they announced it was actually yesterday. Yesterday, actually, my images one of the bits off the cover. If that roster was anything to take a look at, then I'm kind of looking forward to if the Avengers roster for the 4th from I guess that 4th movie on would be kind of cool.
It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out because I mean, some of the complaints that have been made of other films that have had so many characters packed in is that you're too busy bouncing from one character to the other. They don't have time to develop anything. But in this case, they've developed them over several movies. They don't really need to develop anything. Now they just need to have them interact.
Yeah.
So, because they have the history built in. But we definitely know it's going to be a very diverse cast. And to kind of close up, as it were, how powerful the diversity has been, or just the fact that, the representation has been.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at a take right now in 4 days of nearly $500 million. That's per Box Office Mojo.
Life is good.
And even better, I say even better, is that the majority of that's coming from U.S. 56, almost 57% of that is from here in the U.S. with 263 million.
I mean, I'm just warning you. I mean, I might go again like this upcoming weekend or some other time soon. I plan on seeing it at least 1 or 2 more times while it's still in theaters.
Well, I got to take my wife to see it, so.
Good man.
I'll be seeing that. Oh, she wants to see it, so. I asked her, I was like, "You want to see it?" She goes, "Of course I want to see it." So, those numbers are heartening just because it's like with all the crap that's going on socially and all these fringe groups popping their heads up because they think they seem to have a voice all of a sudden.
And then you got the people making, I got attacked because I'm white, going to see Black Panther.
Yeah.
But then it turns out
dude.
That was
seeing that, like, oh man, like I had not gotten so angry at seeing. So there was a lot of side stories while that was going on. You had that. You had some black people that were getting even mad at the fact that people were going out to go support this movie when they weren't going to support that Birth of a Nation movie or something, which was a good movie, mind you.
Birth of a Nation?
Yeah, Birth of a Nation.
I think that one should be burned, honestly.
Yeah, I know. I
mean, if you're looking at it from a film perspective, just, how they shot and everything, okay, I'll grant you that one. From a historical perspective, it's good in that respect, but as an actual story to watch, where it basically kind of puts the KKK on a pedestal, no.
Yeah, it was that movie that came out like a year or two ago, the one that got like Nate something Oscar nomination, whatever.
Tank is talking about a different movie.
Yeah, the one that actually was called "The Birth of a Nation."
Oh no, I'm talking about the black people centric one. Like I forgot the name of the character, the Nate Turner movie or something. Yeah, it's completely different. I'm not talking about that horrible.
They're
thing.
both called The Birth of a Nation.
Yeah. So trust me, I'm not talking.
2016 film. Oh wait, geez, there's been 3 of them. There's a 1983 version.
Yeah,
or one named it anyway.
Yeah, I'm talking about the most recent one. The most recent one was the guy who starred in it also directed it and pretty much funded it with his own money. Only problem is the guy has been, I think, I'm not sure if he's been partially acquitted or something, but he did a rape job back in the day. So no bueno. And
I feel bad now because I had commented on about that. I was referring to the first one, and maybe that because I said it should be burned, and boy, that just changes that context entirely.
Yeah, bro, you're fine. You're fine, man. You're fine.
Oops.
I didn't even know this movie existed.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It takes place during, I think, around the Revolutionary War time.
No, I'm reading it. It's Nat Turner. It'll be 1831. I'm just reading Wikipedia on it.
But yeah, once again, it's still something that focuses on black people and slavery, and I'm like, come on, guys. So, yeah, a lot of black people were getting mad at people for going to go see that, and they said that people were being the C word. Over it. I mean, I'm not sure what language I can use, so I'm just
crazy.
Well, not crazy.
Is it like the favorite swear?
It starts with a C, ends with an F. Yeah. So they were calling them that, saying that, well, you're gonna go support the white man's movie, but you're not gonna support the black people's movie about this and all that. I'm like, you dummies, do you not realize that any type of thing that's kind of help bettering the community or at least showing stuff or aspects is good, so seeing a lot of posts about that was starting to get me like really like I wanted to like uppercut like a lot of folk. But
why are they saying it was you're gonna go watch the white man's movie? So it was directed by a black man. Get over yourselves.
Yeah, it's like but white man's money. I'm like, dude, miss me with that bollocks.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was, quote unquote, white man's money involved in making Birth of a Nation.
No,
2018. Got to add that.
No, there wasn't any involved in that one, but it was just really frustrating because it's like this is something that's helping build us up. Why are you trying to sabotage it? And then like I think like one of the guys who had even posted complaining about it. He had commented on it after someone called him out, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm planning on going to see the movie anyway." I'm like, "Then why would you post this in the first place?"
I mean, I will say, I saw a few where there better not be any white people in the theaters that kind of thing. Now, I don't know how much
that pissed me off too.
I was like, but don't you want people to
understand?
To understand, and not only understand, but just for once put all that aside. It's like, it's not put it aside. I mean, there's no way that it's just like a lot of people sit there and say, well, how can, just so you know, BK, I consider myself a conservative person and in a liberal world. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's just like, no, you can't deny it. I mean, you're not going to deny the history. Yeah. I'm not going to deny that there are things that happened and still happen to this day, and that those people who still perpetrate this stuff need to be taken care of, which I'm kind of glad they're all popping out of the woodwork because they make easier targets when you know who they are. But the aspect of it is there has to be a point where we can stop yelling at each other and find common ground. And this, I honestly think this movie is one of those common grounds where everybody can go, dude. And it was like, find something that we can all just say, okay, this was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And get dialogue started, start talking about it, say, okay, well, how do we work together to fix it instead of working and yelling at each other across picket lines, all these kind of things, and say, you know what, let's go arm in arm and say, hey, look, it's just skin. Let's do this.
Yeah, because I mean, I find myself a fairly liberal person, but I have a lot of conservative leaning friends that we sit down, we talk like pretty often. I normally like kind of getting their perspective on stuff that happens, just like they sometimes like getting my point of view on stuff like that. So we talk back and forth. None of them have seen the film yet, but I mean, they heard how hyped I was, how much I was talking about. So like, they're going to go see it as early as possible. So I mean, I can't wait to have the conversation about that, because it's just there's a lot we can all learn from it, and at the end of the day, it is, as you said. I mean, people just need to conversate. I mean, not everyone's going to have the same opinion as you, but if you can find some way to, land right in the middle and at least start with that conversation, you're fine.
I think another reason, though, why The Birth of a Nation 2016 film would not have gone over nearly as well as Black Panther's, because it's covering a very serious topic, and that's there should be stuff on that, by all means. We need to be looking at that, especially with critical and open eyes, take the blinders off type deal. But Black Panther is something that everybody can get and just enjoy. You don't. I watch it and sure they have accents, sure they have a different skin tone, but you can still empathize. You can understand the characters. You can feel their motivations. As we talked here tonight, with Killmonger. I mean, you get it. You don't have to actually have been in the same situation to get the motivations behind them. Why he's doing what he's doing.
That line where he's like, "Where were you?" That is the most biting line in that entire.
And that does open that opens the question too. It's like, if they were taking slaves and Wakanda's been around for a very long time, that's a good question. Where were they?
And it really was. It's biting all the way around. It's just like, because it's not just the slavery issue. It is the issue with all developed nations.
Oh yeah, I mean, just think about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Where were you in the Holocaust? And it's like, they knew. Governments knew it was happening.
But it's almost exactly like what Wakabi, now I remember his name, was and what Okoye was saying, and it was just when Okoye was saying, well, we've been sitting here, we're trying to try to protect our way of life and all that type of stuff, and you have people that lean the way of, well, we just want to protect our way of life, we want to make sure things are safe, but then you also have some that feel like, all right, then if we start taking a proactive role, it's as what Kabi said. It's like, either you're going to go you're trying to catch up with the rest of the world, you're going to be the conquerors or the conquered, and blah, blah, blah. I'd rather be the former. And I'm like,
he's got a point.
I'm like, you have a point, but dude, no.
This is not the way to go about it.
But also, the isolationism is not good either.
Exactly.
So it's like, where do you find that? It's like the isolationism also very poignant, whereas the isolationism, the whole, our way of life is in danger, that can get played to anybody.
Perfect case in point, World War II.
Yes.
Before World War II happened, America First. That's another one. That's really an isolationist.
Yeah, it is. Isolation.
America First came from World War II.
Yeah.
Before World War II, I should say.
There was a lot of very well, and I won't say hidden, but very well incorporated social commentary on a whole broad spectrum of things in this film.
There was
Case in point,
nicely interwoven.
One of the big things right now is, immigration and refugees, and they touched on that. About the whole concept of bringing refugees into Wakanda.
They bring their problems. That was it's like, if you allow the refugees, they bring their problems with them. And I was like, oh, damn.
It's like, just slightly poignant.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, but it's not, I think because the film, there's two white guys in the entire movie. When you have characters that aren't white saying these lines, it opened. It's like, oh damn, oh man, because it was like, I don't know, maybe because of the way it was put together and the way it was portrayed, it was like, you know what? There was a reverse side of it. It was like, guess what? Everybody can have the same kind of feelings, and we all have to deal with those feelings. That's what a lot of this movie was.
Technically, there was a third white boy.
Well, yeah, in the end credit scene.
I still don't understand people that walk out before the credits are over.
Did you just?
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Did you just? Well, actually, us.
Yes, he did just
Actually, I did.
He's pushing up the glasses and it. Actually, guys.
It was.
Look here, guys. What happened here is
watching the social stuff that was said in the context of an African nation and African people that had isolated itself from the world and dealing with the social issues that we are dealing with in this country and all that kind of stuff. And the way it was portrayed, again, it was biting just because it was like, it wasn't a white guy saying it. It was like, these are two African people talking to, and they're talking about their nation that has been hidden for decades now, and you can't see them, and they've been hiding, and they're not letting this happen, not letting this happen. And there are those who say, okay, enough is enough. It's time to open up. And there are those who are fighting. We have the same thing here if you put it in the aspects of fighting for, look at the stuff that goes on in the South. Well, we're fighting for our way of life. And what is your way of life? What is your way of life? Sitting here with waving a flag that a lot of people find offensive, waving and sitting there screaming and calling people names and seeing people as less than you.
And you're wanting to retain certain statuary in parks that's actually for people who are all in favor of keeping people in slavery. This is not the good thing, guys.
The good thing that this actually did was saying you don't have to lose your way of life to open up. You can still have you, yet accept others, which is what they did at the end. It was like, it's time for us to open up and say, here, we're going to share. Well, that kind of stuff too. And I was just like, again, I walked out of there going, oh my God, there was so much that I wonder how many people caught, because it was just beaten. It was like smack, smack, smack. And it was so well written into it that I'm just wondering how many people it flew over their heads and how many people caught it.
It's hard to say. Although, I was talking to a friend about this.
I caught it better than Tom Brady did.
Burn. Sports burn. I was talking with a friend at work about this because she had watched it and I watched it, and we both came to the agreement. It's like, if it had been a Spike Lee movie, it would have just been smacking you upside the head the whole time.
Oh yeah.
He does not do things. He does not do things subtly, and
but they weren't subtle.
Films are. Well, no, they weren't. Well, they compared to Spike Lee. Come on.
True, but again, it wasn't. It wasn't subtle the way it was portrayed, because there was a lot of political stuff going on in this film.
Yeah,
but it wasn't subtle. They were running these issues within their confines, yet it was poignant all over the board.
Dude, it was like from the jump, especially when Zuri was talking, telling T'Challa the story, and M'Baku started talking about what was going on, because full and well, early '90s Oakland was no place you'd want to be. I mean, for most intents and purposes, still not a place you want to be, but it's just, you have the leaders of the community getting basically rolled over. I think that was a little bit after the whole Rodney King thing, or around the same time. So it's, as I said, there was a lot there.
A lot of tensions.
Oh, dude, it's inner cities are a rough place to be, man. A rough place to be. It's there's just so much. I think people have been pretty much spot on with, this is Marvel's most political, one of their most political movies, if not their most political movie that they've put out so far.
It is. I mean, let's face it, the Winter Soldier actually had quite a bit to it too.
Oh no, dude! Like that's what I'm saying. Like, arguably, because like, just the whole government bit, and Winter Soldier messed me up. That's part of the reason why I enjoyed Winter Soldier so much, was because it was like it wasn't so much so a superhero movie, it was more so a political thriller with superheroes in it.
Yeah, which would make sense. These people are living in the same world, so there's gonna be that stuff. It's not just like a side note; it's there. So yeah, I mean, the way this film does it is that it's like, yeah, it's making points, and they're not terribly subtle, but it's doing it with yet a soft touch.
Yeah.
So it's not angry about it. It's just, this is the way it is. Take what you see of it.
Yeah.
Take what you see. It's like, too bad you don't have to like it. But it is what it is.
To quote Kidmonger, people die around these parts. It's just the way it is around here.
Yeah. Well, we probably should move a little bit on before we wrap up. There is one thing that came to mind, unless you want me to save that for last call.
Could do a last call. We've only been on running for an hour and a half now.
Well, I think we might want to discuss a little longer, just because of we've discussed it before. So, Star Trek Online has announced again that you'll be able to get 3D printed ships in the near future, and apparently they're going to announce actual pricing and whatnot in a couple weeks.
I hope they partnered with a better company this time.
Well,
you guys are getting 3D printed ships.
Yes. Again, this is announced. This was announced before, and I think we talked about it quite a bit last time around. We had some discussion about how the models with the stepping on it.
Yeah, and then the models that they showed looked better.
Yeah, the models. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because the model they actually have the close up of the unpainted version. Because I guess you can commission to have it hand painted, and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to be cheap. But just a primered one that you can paint yourself, that looked pretty good.
Yeah, it didn't look bad at all, and I kind of wonder if they maybe sand it, after it's printed. Because as far as I'm aware, they still have the stepping.
Well, there are processes for finishing 3D prints, and there's also new generations that the stepping is extremely, extremely small.
Either way,
they're also not going to be huge. I think it's like, what I read, something they mentioned is going to be like 12 inches.
That's
just not small. It's not tiny by any means. I think there was more variety in the size ranges on the other ones.
I tell you what, if I just want the USS I made this. That's all I want.
So how does that work? What does it basically take the file of the ship you've made in game and then you get to 3D print it?
Yep.
Right. So World of Warcraft, they've been doing this for years,
well, no one really plays WoW anymore. So continue.
There's still millions of people playing, dude.
I'm going to keep insulting it till the end of days. I'm sorry.
What it means is no one that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no one that matters. It's just a few million Chinese.
The last time that World of Warcraft mattered, I was in high school, and that was about.
They're going to bring back vanilla. They're going to bring back vanilla World of Warcraft.
Yeah, so people can get their nostalgia fix and go make Warcraft great again. But it is what it is.
Oh my!
Make Warcraft great again.
That's fantastic.
It's going to be a great server, the best server. It's the most vanilla server around.
Oh God! You're gonna get me killed. Continue.
I want a hat.
Make World of Warcraft great again.
Bright purple hat with that right across it.
One color has to be Alliance colors. The other one has to be Horde colors.
So it has to be.
We're gonna build a wall around Stormwind Keep and make the Horde pay for it.
Damn it!
Mawa, everybody, Mawa.
Yeah, Mawa.
And if you're with the Horde, we're gonna build a wall around Orgrimmar and make Stormwind pay for it.
I know all the Leroy Jenkins. They're the best Leroy Jenkins. He's a nice guy.
I just want a return of Classic Barons chat.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Well,
you know,
anyway,
Going back just once, I would like to see a Russian character that's not portrayed as a communist or a spy.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Wouldn't it though?
Like, give me a
That'd be good
Russian
fantasy.
Because if you really want, I mean, I am a first generation. My mother was born in Germany. My grandfather fled Russia because of after the war and the communists and all that. He left and settled here in the States. My mother was born in Germany, and they came over when she was 4 months old.
Dude,
And
you double dipped in like the cool stuff, man.
yeah, so it was just like, and you know what? Growing up, every time there was a Russian on screen, because I grew up around people speaking Russian and all that, every time they were on screen, James Bond was either killing them, or
I mean, you're not wrong.
or they were never ever the good guy. There was never a Russian good guy. They were always the bad guy.
What
about
about
that-
that? Chekhov would like to have words with you.
What
Okay,
about
check.
that Dolph Lundgren movie, or is it Arnold?
No,
where he's a cop who comes to the U.S.
That was
was that Skin Trade?
that was Schwarzenegger. Red Heat.
Oh, Red Heat, yeah.
From
Cocaine.
snow. Cocaña.
It's like cocaine.
How do you get through your days over there? Vodka.
No, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind. It's like, oh, well, every time they show a German on screen, it's a Nazi. Well, okay, we'll go with it. We're not going to do that. But it was just like,
Yeah.
I'm Russian and German descent, so it's like, yeah, I bet they're always the bad guys. Not that there's anything. Not that I can sit there and say anything and put it in any perspective as to the aspect of how blacks have been portrayed in film. And it is, like I said, I saw the thing where it was like, for the first time, they're not this on screen.
Well,
we are the hero. I was like, yeah.
Hogan's Heroes was supposed to have a Soviet prisoner that was part of all the plots and everything. He was in the pilot, but then the guy decided he didn't want to do the series.
You want to hear something funny? When my uncle's friend was stationed in Germany, my uncle's friend was stationed in Germany in the Air Force back in the late 70s, early 80s, and on Armed Forces television over there that was broadcast and everybody could see it in Germany. They played Hogan's Heroes all the time.
Well, I guess you know nothing.
I know nothing.
You know what you do know, though? You know what it looks like to hang out in Legoland.
I do. Legoland.
Jerk.
We were there over the weekend, and we drove down to Florida on Thursday night, Friday morning.
Was it lit?
It was lit, dude. There, you know, Millennium Falcon you can get right now, the $500 Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
They have one built, but it's not that Falcon. It's 3 times the size, and it's sitting there. And they have a whole Star Wars thing built up. They have it. It's called Miniland. Everything's made of Legos. I actually have photos that I'm going to post later. I took a whole lot of panoramics because they have like all the major cities in America, New York, San Francisco, Washington, Miami. They have the whole NASA setup from Canaveral and stuff. And it was really awesome to see. I mean, everything is built out of Legos. And Legos and Duplos. The bigger statues are made out of Duplos. But it was definitely something to see that it was just Lego crazy. Now, the funny thing, what would you think the biggest thing they would mark up at Legoland in their stores?
Special
Legos.
pieces.
It'd have to be the
Legos.
Star.
You would think the Legos would be marked up to no end. It was the only thing that was actually at straight up retail or a little less. Everything else was marked up. Like a hamburger was $7. Yeah. T-shirts.
Wait.
Ice cream.
When you say a hamburger, are we talking like, you know, McDonald's thin burger or, you know, White Castle nickel?
Or Wendy's.
No, I'm talking like theme park hamburger, which is not even close to any of those. It's a theme park hamburger.
$7 for a hamburger is about standard a lot of places.
Well, that's why I'm asking. When you say it's not even close, are we talking like they're actually thicker or thinner?
No, usually that food it's bland, it's dry, and it's pretty foul.
Disney food is always great.
If it makes you feel better, if you went to the Super Bowl, a hot dog was $8, and
yeah, even that. That's crazy.
A soda and pretzel combo cost $17.
Yeah,
what was that noise you made when I said Disney food is great?
Because I have been to Disney many, many times. I've eaten at Disney many times, and their food is hit and miss. Now, there's one place that you can eat, which is over in Epcot, over by where Soren is. Their little restaurant there, their food is pretty good. But most of the stuff in the Magic Kingdom, again, very bland. Now, unless you go to the bigger restaurants, I'm talking the fast food pick and go
I think
stuff.
my favorite amusement park food is Oktoberfest in Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
The Food and Wine Festival at Epcot is pretty good too, because it's food from all over the world. But
I haven't never been to any of them.
Legoland, it was like okay, what was it? T-shirt was normal. And it's like, okay, it's a T-shirt, it's $25, and that kind of stuff. And I expected the Legos to be outrageously priced, and they weren't. Every one of our kids got a Lego set for under $20. And I was like, well, that's pretty impressive. Actually, stuff that I know at Toys R Us goes for like $30. They had for $14, $15. And I was like, well, that's pretty sweet. I just spent $200. Okay, here's one for you. We had lunch at a pasta and pizza buffet. It was $70 for the 5 of us.
Ouch.
Yeah. We had money set. I was like, well, there goes a lot of the budget just on lunch.
Like my wallet's just like semi-shriveled, like in my hand as you said this.
Well, you're just looking at your wallet for some reason. You're like, no, don't stay with me. Stay with me.
We budgeted out with some of the tax money and stuff, how much we would have to travel down there and pay for gas and all that kind of stuff, and we still went over the budget by like $100 and something. But I mean, again, the hotel was. I mean, we stayed at the retreat, which is not on site. It's off-site slightly. I mean, but it's again the room. It's geared towards kids. The whole place is geared towards children, which is awesome. Everything is at kid level. The room was geared towards kids. There were Legos in the room you can play with. They were, instead of mints on the pillows, every kid had a bag of Legos.
Dude, that's
they could
cool.
take home with them. They had dance parties and stuff because the park closes at like 6 o'clock at night, and there was stuff at the hotels and the resorts that you can go do. They had like dance parties and that kind of stuff for kids. Everything was geared towards children, and it was really. I mean, it's like, and big kids, little kids, doesn't matter. Some of the stuff that they put together, the Lego stuff. I mean, they had the entire city of Theed from Naboo built. Little Darth Maul inside the window and a little ship inside that was getting shot at, and they had a giant Darth Vader built out of nothing but Legos and R2-D2, and but the biggest one that got me, I sent the pictures, was the New York thing. There's like 15-foot Empire State Building that is nothing but actual Lego bricks and not made with the Duplos.
There's got to be a way, they got to have their own program when they design those things, because there's just no way that you could literally just look at this. Oh yeah, I can build this, and you just build it. I mean, okay, let me retract that a little bit. If you are a genius and able to visualize that stuff, sure, maybe you could do that. But they probably use a program because it looks so damn good.
Yeah, they had. Let's see. When you first walk in the park, within the first couple of not first feet, I would say within the first 100 yards, you come to Emmett and Wild Style that are life size. Then they're built out of Legos. They're not like the minifigures. They're minifigures that are built out of little Lego bricks. And they show you how much they weigh. They're all hollow, which is pretty sweet. You can knock on them and they're hollow on the inside. So they're not like solid bricks, but I think Emmett was like 37,000 bricks and Emmett was 32,000, Wild Style was 37,000 and change. And they had them every time you saw something big that showed, they had a little thing saying how much it weighed, how many Legos it took, and how many hours it took to build it. Emmett took like 126 man hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was
that's over 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then I'm sitting there going, okay, there's that. How much did it take to just build the Empire State Building? And how much did it take? I mean, they had the entire city, the entire Las Vegas Strip built out of Legos.
Oh my God.
I was jealous of all those pictures.
Nah, dog. That's that. Oh man, bruh.
And it's all, and it's really funny. The rides they have, they don't have a lot of rides, but it was all roller coasters, and all of them were kid friendly. Everything was like 40 inches or 40 between 40 and 45 inches, which is perfect for the 6 and 7 year old kids. They can get on it, and nobody but my youngest son wanted to go, and that was on the last day. Right towards the end of the day, he's like, "Okay, let's go on the dragon." So we got on the dragon, and he laughed the entire time. I was like, "I thought, you see, you like roller coasters. Let's go again." I was like, "Dude, the park closes in like 20 minutes. We can't get online again." But I have to go again. I was like, "Dude, we've been here for 2 days. You said you didn't want to ride on any of them. You get on one, and all of a sudden it's like, let's go on every roller coaster in the park, Dad." But
Well, now he knows for future reference.
oh yeah, well, and they have great deals. If you've got kids, they got a deal going right now that kids stay free. If you book for a certain amount of time, the adults have to pay, and you get the meal ticket and all that thing, and all the kids and everything, they eat for free and they stay for free. So you can do it in 2 days. It's a great park for a 2-day trip, and it's 1/3 the price of Disney, who just raised their prices.
Yeah, I heard about that. But then again, for me, they're both too far away.
And Disney prices, and if anyone over the age of 3 years old pays full ticket price, which is $129 a day per person per park. That's insane.
I thought the point that Disney was going for is that it was be accessible.
Exactly.
It's accessible. It is accessible, just not affordable.
It's not. Yeah. It's that. I mean, he even said it back in the 50s. He goes, "This is a park for everybody. Rich, poor. I want them all to be able to come." And now
it hasn't been like that in a long time.
Families save up like for years just to go once. It's ridiculous. And to be honest, once you're in the park, there's really not that much you can do. Magic Kingdom has what? 1, 2, 3, 30 rides at most. The rest of it's all just the ambiance in the stores.
Well, then you're also just stuck.
I don't know. My kid got a huge kick out of meeting the characters. And
well, there is that.
She's special needs, so she got all kinds of special treatment from them. It was amazing.
They do that really well. Disney is on point when it comes to that kind of stuff. And seriously, I mean, if you walk up and you tell Disney that you had a bad experience, they usually hand you out a whole lot of free stuff, including park tickets.
I know there was a big scandal a few years ago because they had a real problem with these tour companies were hiring disabled kids that their tour groups could go to the front of the line and all the rides and everything.
Bruh. That is horrible.
Yeah, and so it caused like a major policy change.
Dang. Now the disabled folk get no love.
No, I don't think they removed that, but I think it was like the disabled person and one other person now can go to the front or something, and that's like it. Or something like that. I don't know. I just know that there was a big policy change with that because these tour companies were taking major advantage.
Wow.
I'm going to start a theme park that's geared around left-handed people.
I'm left-handed.
That place sounds evil.
It does. Everything would be backwards. The doors would all open the opposite direction.
Why you gotta be racist, man?
What? I'm left-handed.
Hey, you want to hear?
Why you gotta be racist against us right-handers?
You want to hear really evil? I use my mouse on the left, but I don't reverse the buttons.
What?
What the hell?
I've had to train myself. My mouse is on the right-hand side. I shoot a bow and arrow right-handed. I shoot guns right-handed. I've had to learn to. I mean, I can't cut scissors. Or I can't use scissors.
I can't cut scissors. Well, most people can't cut scissors.
Yeah, I have to use scissors the way they're made, which is 99% right-handed. Can openers, doors.
I can use a mouse right-handed, but I don't actually do anything right-handed.
Okay, now just on that note, Wolfie, that reminds me of a coworker I had, and I have no idea how this girl got hired. I really have no clue. Apparently, they must have been rolled a really good deception when they went to the interview. So we actually had bounced this girl around because she was just incompetent at everything that we gave her, even the simple stuff. So she's doing this one job where all you have to do, you get a spreadsheet of roles that you have to apply to people. It's real simple. Copy, paste, save, done. Go to the next guy. That's it. And I go over, I had to ask her a question, and I stop, and I'm like, what's with your mouse? She had it on the left side, and she goes, oh, I use my mouse with my left hand so that the right side of my brain will get it.
Oh my God.
Dear Lord.
I just stood there flabbergasted for a good, 30 seconds. Like,
No. I would just walked away. I was like, nope. It's like you have forfeited conversation with me. We can't do this.
I think I did walk away because it's like that really hurt to lose intellect points and try to. That's bringing me down to your level.
Oh God, that hurts.
That is so wrong.
It's just wow. To this day, we still talk about her at work.
It's like you got hit with like a spirit bomb of stupidity.
I will say the only thing
of stupidity.
I like it. BK, you need to show up more.
Yes, you do. You need to show up more.
Oh, yeah.
Trademark that.
What on earth? Give me your dumbasses.
And then you're like, no, stop!
2 plus 2 is 7. 1 plus 1 is 9.
It is with Common Core.
The problem with a spirit bomb of stupidity, the problem with a spirit bomb of stupidity is that a certain Cheeto is just going to get larger and larger and larger. Then,
man, don't even get me. Please don't get me started on that. But
we try to avoid.
You fling the spirit bomb, and I make a good shovel at it.
Butter toast. Oh man.
You know the bad thing?
You would challenge the son of a shepherd!
Yeah, Rolf is incredible. He's the hero that Gotham deserves.
My 11-year-old son he's like straight A student in math.
Yeah.
He does it all in his head.
Good man.
Seriously, he does everything. Now when it comes to me, I am math deficient. I am. What was it? I would honestly say I'm like arithmetic. I must say I am a arithmetic dyslexic kind of thing. Me and numbers don't get along.
Actually, my older brother too.
Like my basic math skills are decent. When you start getting me into algebra and all that type, my math skills are probably about as equivalently good as Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which is not very good at all.
I actually was good at algebra. It was when you tried to teach me trigonometry and calculus stuff. I was like, that was just brick wall. Paid for by anybody but me.
Well, it's funny because he brings home these Common Core math things, and he looks at the way he's like, "Why are they doing it this way?"
Yeah, did you and he'll write the answer. A spiritual moment when you saw the Incredibles trailer that involved a scene just like that?
Yep.
Yeah,
you can't change math.
No, you can't, and it's really funny because it's like, well, you just add 3. It's like, where's that 3 coming from? And you take this away, and like, why are you moving the numbers around? It's 5 plus 5. Seriously, how hard is that? You have 5 fingers on each hand, and there's 25 steps.
I actually saw a video briefly not too long ago that explained how you would do math under Common Core. It's like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense once you explain it out to me.
The thing about Common Core is if you have somebody that knows how to teach it and is teaching it to a child that hasn't done math before, it is far easier for them to pick up.
True.
The problem is that no one knows how to teach it, and most of these kids learn basic number stuff from their parents before they ever go to school, so it's confusing even to them.
Yep.
Dude, if you want me to even drop this other little tidbit, this would be my last thing on Common
Good night, folks.
Stuff. Do you know that in I think it's like 7th grade, they don't even teach World War I or World War II anymore. They don't even cover Nam here anymore.
It's messed up.
You're in Maryland, right?
Yeah, Montgomery County, arguably one of the best. Apparently we have one of the best educational systems counties.
How can you not teach the 2 great wars?
They don't teach them anymore.
That's stupid.
When my former history teacher who got me into doing substituting now, told me about that. Like, that crushed me. I was like, you can't not learn that. I think they like, I think they loosely now cover it just a little bit in ninth grade now, and that's it.
Wasn't there a famous saying that if you don't learn history, you're doomed to
repeat it? Bingo.
It's the same thing here. I mean, like when I went to college, world history is split up into two different things, and they just skip over everything.
Well, here's the thing.
I learned more about Doric columns than I did about anything that happened in the late 19th or 20th century. I also learned that my history teacher really thinks that the current and future generations are just doomed to failure because he spent more time telling us young people that we were doomed to fail than actually teaching us anything. So,
well, some people just suck. But anyway, when it comes to teaching history, being the history major here, the states have final say as to what actually gets taught throughout the entire state. Obviously, there's going to be a focus on state history. There should be. Makes sense.
Oh, of course.
State constitution stuff. Yeah, you got to do that. And what they cover for the general history, that's the key word there, general history, will change over time. And that's why you have things like in the South where they talk about the Civil War as the War of Northern Aggression, because that's the narrative that they want to push.
Dumbasses.
But still, you have to keep it general because it's just too much to dig into.
Yeah,
still have to at least touch on, certain big events. And then when you go to college, that's when you start really digging into it. Your 100 level courses, you're getting to the Western history from, BC whatever to 1600s, and then you do another one like what Alistair did. I did the same thing. Then you go on your 200 level courses and 300 and 400. Well, that gets really in-depth stuff then.
Well, the big question is, BK, is Maryland teaching world history or are they teaching U.S. history?
I mean, depends on the grade you're in. I think 6th grade they cover just basic social studies. 7th grade they do cover light world history. I mean, they normally call it 7th grade world history. 8th grade, you normally do that type of stuff too. 9th grade, if it's anywhere like what I used to remember, 9th grade is, I think, U.S. history in general.
Because
10th is national, state, and local government, and then I think another world history class like in freaking 11th grade, and then I think 12th grade you can kind of freely pick stuff like some other different stuff.
Because this is going to sound weird, but a lot of U.S. history courses gloss over the world wars.
Well, again, that goes back to the general history part. History, the high school level does not have time to get into any real depth. That's not physically possible.
Even college level U.S. history courses gloss over the world.
Again, it depends on the school in that regard. If you're going to a community college. Well, community college again, they're teaching more expanded. Hold on. I'm just giving you the brief rundown. Community colleges are going a bit more in depth. It's still going to gloss over a lot. When you get to your universities or 4-year colleges, it's going to be hit or miss depending on the teacher who's teaching the course on how in depth they get into the subject. So if, you get into Western history. Well, there's going to be parts of it that's because it's such a big wide space of stuff that you're going to unfortunately gloss over.
U.S. history, they tend to do up to the Civil War and then after the Civil War to modern age. And after the Civil War to modern age in U.S. history in college, at least a lot of them, they gloss over the world wars in a lot of ways.
That is such a shame because now again, 30 years ago now almost, 9th grade through 12th grade. 9th grade was Old World History, which was anything from Europe to China and geography at the same time. So it was like you dealt with Europe for a semester, you dealt with Asia for a semester, Africa for a semester, and I think we went back to Asia because it was Russian history and then Russian and European. Then we dealt with African, and which again, because there wasn't a lot because it was glossed over, but it wasn't glossed over. There was specific areas. Then there was like China, India, Japan, and that kind of stuff. Then 10th grade, it was New World History, which was North and South America, geography and history, dealing with the ancient the tribes, and then going into the more modern stuff, including the Civil War and all that stuff that went through. And then by 11th grade, we went into what they considered modern, which was 1900 until modern day, which covered both world wars, the Vietnam, the Korean War. All of it was all there. Now, again, this ended, I mean, modern day history at that point ended in 1988, so it was like, okay, it's not as much. I mean, every history is the only subject that gets really hard every year because there's more history to learn. But then in 12th grade, you were allowed to elect what you wanted to go into. You can go into old world studies, new world studies, ancient studies and stuff, which is what I did. I went in, they did Roman and Greek and all that kind of stuff. So I just find it really weird that they're glossing over, especially the Second World War. I mean, the First World War, I mean, it's not one of the, we didn't touch on as much. The Second World War, we dug pretty deep into the causes and the reasons and all that kind of stuff. And the horrific stuff that happened during that war. Maybe that's why, because they don't want to scare anybody anymore. It's a dark period. War is bad.
Man, I mean, I may hate just the loose idea of it, but no, we have to learn from it. You can't just pretend it didn't happen. You can't ignore it. I mean, as fucked up as it sounds, it's even like human nature on some level. But
that's just messed up. Here, this is the most social, political show we've had in a long time. And you know what? It's been completely civil. It's awesome.
Well, and
I'm sorry, I couldn't control myself before, guys. I apologize.
They're essentially saying, ignorance is bliss.
No, it's.
But I guess you shot in the foot. So bad.
Unfortunately, that's generalizing way too much. It's just it comes back to they don't have the time to dig into it, so they have to pick and choose what they're going to focus on. And unfortunately, they're making bad choices to do it.
And then you have to start taking specialized class. Kind of crazy because of the fact that now the courses talk about the Korean War, all that type of stuff. People won't even understand the whole issue with the peninsula and everything.
Oh no! I mean, I remember we actually skipped most of that.
Yeah, we. I remember when
I knew it happened because I'm a crazy history person, but.
Yeah, because when I took the class, yeah, we didn't go too in depth with it. And even with that, I think the only reason why I remembered certain names from the Vietnam War were because they were just at the time I thought they were kind of funny names like Ho Chi Minh City and Ngoc Van Diem and all that type of stuff. But yeah, it's just a shame.
Actually, guy, it's pronounced. No, I'm not doing that.
I was about to say, please don't, or I'll verbally uppercut you.
That seems to be the reason why so many kids can pull the Kardashians and name each one of them, but has a hard time naming the top 5 presidents of the country.
Bingo.
Honestly, though, when you go into the top 5 presidents, I think that one's debatable. It just depends on what it is you're qualifying them by. And I'd like to actually see that. Someone's probably done it.
Yeah, that actually would be a nice thing to see.
Warren G. Harding.
Are you being serious or facetious?
Completely facetious.
Completely. Okay. I'm about to say, I was like,
wasn't Harding a complete moron?
It's like, yeah,
he was the one that was elected because he looked presidential.
Yes, but
oh no, that's bad. That's so bad.
I mean, right now, I got the 2 in kindergarten, and they learned about George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and I think they touched on Jefferson and a few of the other founding fathers.
Okay,
but that was in kindergarten. They wanted, and I think the best because I was amazed at what these guys. I mean, my kids are reading in kindergarten, like reading, and I was like blown away that these kids they're reading. I was like, this is awesome, but it's not awesome because now I can't spell anything around them, and they know exactly what I'm saying. But the social stuff they got into. My daughter came home in September, and she asked me about the day the towers fell, because she knows Daddy was there, and trying to explain to a 5-year-old what happened that day, and that kind of stuff, because they glossed over it real quick. They just know that something bad happened and that the Twin Towers fell down. That's all. But it was just like, because she came right up to me. She wanted to know all about it. Because, Daddy, you were there, right? I was like, yes, Daddy was in New York at the time. And she was like, I was like, how do I explain this to my dad? And especially for someone who still suffers from PTSD from it. So it was just like, there was a time I couldn't even see a picture of the towers without shaking. But
dude, I can only imagine.
It was, and then what was it? She came home with a whole big thing on Martin Luther King Jr. and surprisingly Malcolm X. And I was like, check this out. This is awesome. And she was like, and Martin Luther King Jr., he was a black man, and he was this, and he was that, and he was that. I was like, this is so awesome. Check you out. And she goes, and people were so stupid because they didn't like him because he had a different skin color. And I was like, I love my daughter.
Yeah, she's going places.
But I was just amazed. And then I get to the stuff that my older son is in, and he's in. It's like, you know what? You're barely teaching them history, but all of a sudden the big emphasis right now is life classes. And he came home and he was all like, guess what I learned in school today? And he's like, I learned that mommy has an egg and that you have spream. I was like, what? Spream. And it was like, this again, he's 11 years old, and this is what it's like, really? It's like, I wasn't ready to have this talk with him yet. He wasn't there yet.
Yeah, health class. I know they loosely talk about it, and I know
it was more than loosely from what he was describing today.
No, man, it's like, I know they start like 6th grade, but then they like really ramp it up by like 8th, and then 10th grade is when they just hit you with like everything. It's like,
do we really need? I mean, thousands of years people have been doing this on their own. Do we really need to teach them how to do it?
Well, they at least don't show positions.
Oh yeah.
You have to start telling them something, because there are parents who don't tell them jack squat diddly.
No, I understand, and that's wrong too. That is wrong too. But we can talk about this off the air, because now we're getting into crazy stuff, and we've been going for 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Yeah,
I want to ask before we get in the last call, because you may have said it while I was away for a minute. Did we talk about the numbers for Black Panther?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Much money. Records have been broken, smashed, and obliterated.
The amount it's made is huge. It's like the best.
Yeah, I was looking at Vanity Fair, and if what Vanity Fair is saying, right, there's only one movie that's made more in the opening weekend, and it was a Star Wars film. So.
Yep.
I will say it's heartening to see these numbers, because it actually, like I said before, with all the crap that's getting thrown around and all the groups that keep popping up their heads, and everybody's like, well, everybody's this, and everybody's like, really? If that was the case, then who's going to see this movie and enjoying it and bringing everybody and doing all that? It's heartening.
Yep.
We're not all bad.
Yeah. As I said, we all may have disagreements here and all stuff like that, but at least everyone can get on the same boat that this is awesome.
And necessary.
And
necessary.
I will mention probably one of the stupidest comments that I've ever seen regarding Black Panther is, how do you think everyone would feel if they made a movie about a prince of a secret Scandinavian nation, and someone went, that's Thor, they made 3 of them.
Oh no, it was even better. It's like if they made a movie about a prince of a Scandinavian nation and called it White Panther.
Oh my god.
Like, how can you, it really hurts lowering my int level to that.
It's taking everything in me not to go full hood right now.
No, okay, back to the whole thing. A panther is just a leopard that's black, right?
For the most part, I believe. Okay.
I mean, I always thought the panther was more of a New World cat. But then I was like, oh no, the leopard, there are black leopards and they call them panthers.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait a second, the panther's not an African creature, that's a South American creature, isn't it? But no, that's a jaguar.
Well, actually, jaguars are contained in Panthera, I'm just looking it up now.
Yes.
Is the field that contains tigers, lions, and bears. Wait, no. Wrong one. Jaguars and leopards.
Lions and tigers and bears. I was going to say, aren't bears Ursa?
The tigers and lions are a part of it. I got to look.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
But I know the
cougar
is also called the panther.
But it's different.
Now that we've had had Black Panther, and it has succeeded, and it is doing great as it needs to. Can we now get White Tiger to appear in the MCU?
Oh,
That's
man.
racist.
No.
White Tiger's Latino.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if they put her in, I'd be so hype. But
I was thinking about the male White Tiger.
Well, I wouldn't put it past them because I mean she's one of the Spider-Man characters, right?
And Firefly, you're absolutely correct. It's not to be confused with Panthro. That's a little different.
But I could see, in all honesty, I could probably see either if they put him or her. I mean, I normally prefer the current one. Jessica's awesome. I would like to see her in at least. And she seems like she fit better in the Netflix series. Just as long as I don't have to hear about I am the immortal White Tiger every 2 seconds, I think I should be okay.
Black Panthro, Thundercats forever.
Well, you know how hard it was to watch the Cosby Show after I realized?
Oh my goodness!
I was like, wait a second. Oh my goodness, Black Panther was Bill Cosby's dad.
Yep.
It freaked me out. I was like, what?
Yep.
Then then when I found out that Uncle Phil was Shredder, I lost it completely. It's like, what? Oh my god, it is.
It's hype.
Oh.
Well, last call.
Last call.
Take a scotch.
Dilly dilly.
What is with the dilly dilly thing? That makes no sense to me.
I don't know, but the Bud Light commercials do it, and they always tell people to go to the pit of despair, dilly dilly, and then everyone celebrates. So it is what it is.
I got nothing for last call, really.
Jessica Jones is coming up pretty soon.
We're squinting in eye furrows.
Wait, and we got the drinking game too. If she's has one swear throughout the episode, take a drink.
Yeah.
Oh well, you're about to
get
a very painful.
No,
death.
she always at least says I think it was. She always says shit. That's always the one that she always used. So you got to wait and find it.
I don't think you're gonna have a hard time with this season because she says it in the trailer like 10 times.
Yeah. So enjoy your liver getting annihilated.
No, it's for the Netflix series. Luke Cage was the best, followed by Daredevil season 1 and 2, then Jessica Jones, and then the Immortal Iron Fist from Kung Lao.
Oh no, man! Punisher was really good.
Oh, I forgot. I haven't finished Kung Long. I have not finished Punisher. I've only seen the first 2 episodes.
Get back to it.
Oh my guy, you're about to change that roster number real quick.
Is it going to be Luke Cage?
I'm mad about what they did with Iron Fist.
Oh no, I think it might be number 2 on my roster for that.
Okay.
I mean, because nothing beats Cottonmouth for me. Like I could rewatch. He was like basically the new age Nino Brown. I was at peace.
It's a shame that they killed him off so quick in that series.
Dude, yeah.
As well, I would put Luke Cage in the first season of Daredevil like head to head. They were like the 2 of the best.
Oh man,
it was like Jessica Jones. I could not. It was, and then when they got to Iron Fist, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna punch somebody if he says Kung Lung one more time."
Like Jessica Jones was, I enjoyed the series for like in general. I was glad that they found a way to throw in Nuke. David Tennant made me literally made my skin crawl every time he appeared on screen. So I can imagine only how the Doctor Who folk that they had only seen him as that before, and then they see this, and then they're holding their security blankets for like the rest of like the series.
Stay with me, weird. TARDIS blanket.
It was weird.
He can't touch you anymore.
I can't even tell you how good it was. Good to see him in a different role.
Oh,
and I gotta say, he was fucking fantastic. Sorry, there it is.
Those of us who saw him in a certain movie franchise called Harry Potter kind of got a taste of that well ahead of time.
You know what though? Jessica Jones ran 3 episodes too long.
I give you that.
They could have cut it by 3 episodes and tightened the story up a little bit, and it would have been a better show. And they could have done Iron Fist in 3 episodes, and it would have been a better show.
Yeah,
because I just Iron Fist. I've said this before, is one of my favorite characters, and what they did to him is a crime.
Well, all I am waiting for all I'm legitimately waiting for is for them to just do a series with Luke and Danny, so I can have those two on a series just by themselves, and then life will be awesome again.
Yeah, Heroes for Hire.
Just give me some Heroes for Hire.
Speaking of which, yes, another quick thing since we're doing this last call here. There was a second season of Iron Fist ordered in July.
Yeah. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, I found that out, and then I was like, why would you do this to me?
But not Luke Cage?
I haven't checked yet. Give me a sec.
Luke, I believe, has gotten...
There's a season 2 coming.
Yeah, Luke has gotten a season 2, especially because I remember I saw a preview image with Misty with her new arm.
It's coming out this year. So we got Luke Cage, Jessica Jones this year.
Now,
can I be honest?
Yes.
I used, when Daredevil first came out, I was like, yes, this is good. It's my favorite one. Then the next one, Jessica Jones, came out, and was like, I'm not too crazy about Jessica Jones in general, not the actress, but the show is good.
Oh yeah, I mean,
but then
isn't this the first show she's ever been in that got a second season?
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved Luke Cage. It is my favorite one.
Oh, dude.
It is amazing.
The one thing that jumped out to me when they first announced the series and all that, I mean, outside of like the music and all that type of stuff.
Music was awesome.
Your series,
the music made it.
Every episode of your series is named after a different Tribe Called Quest song. I don't even know what to say. Like, I love the Tribe. That's like one of my favorite rap groups of all time, and they did that. I was good.
DK's like, sold!
I don't know. The people think I'm weird because I like old R&B and old Southern black blues songs.
You're a man of culture. If that's what you're like.
It was just like, now I don't like jazz. I don't like jazz, but it's just like I will catch my. I mean, I found an old Facebook page with all the old like just like the old guy sitting there with a banjo or something in the middle of like Tennessee in 1953, just singing the blues, and I was like, I'm here. Let's do this.
Oh no! Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 got 2 seasons.
But the music in Luke Cage was awesome.
Well, it's going to be a busy year, actually. We're getting second season of Luke Cage, second season of Jessica Jones, third season of Daredevil is coming out this year. The only thing they haven't said is when they're going to release the second season of Iron Fist.
All right. If they are going to do a third season of Daredevil, do you know what I need? I need them to take a page out of the current Daredevil arc in the comics right now, because that is one of the best arcs I've ever seen.
Crap, and geez, there's a second season of Punisher coming. Not this year.
Yeah.
The current arc right is this is kind of like a pseudo nod to what's going on IRL. Wilson Fisk has managed to run on the platform of being New York's favorite son, all this type of stuff. He's gonna clean up the streets, make he's gonna get rid of all the bad supers or whatever. And he is now, as I speak, the mayor of New York City.
So he's
that's right.
So he pulled a Lex.
He pulled a Lex / Orange One. And
he's King Pugliani.
Yeah, and it's incredible how well this run is done. And currently, right now in the arc, Matt is trying to figure out a way that he's still trying to wrap his head around the fact that how the hell did this man get like lit up as the mayor? So he's decided that in Civies, the only way he can kind of keep close and keep an eye on him is he became his deputy mayor. But like on the main thing, while he's running as Daredevil on the side, even though costume folks are getting kind of aimed at by the police, he's trying to figure out what's going on, because it sounds like Wilson. He's like found out Wilson's trying to do something kind of underneath everything, involving a whole bunch of different villains. Has been reaching out to a whole bunch of different families and all that. So it's been getting pretty serious.
I gotta start reading Daredevil.
Oh yeah, I think this arc started with issue 595. I think issue 600 drops next month, so it's gonna be big. Like
I'm re-upping for my subscription stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely do it. Yeah, I've been reading I mean, I've been reading the crime that Super Sons is going to be canceled after the next 3 books, but it is what it. It's definitely one of my favorite DC reads. And then, I mean, I just can't wait. After seeing that new roster for the Avengers in May, I'm so hyped. It's not even funny. Because let me pull up the roster real quick.
And then we got to finish wrapping up.
Yeah.
Well,
of
while he's
course,
doing it, I'm just going to say, I am content if we never get another Doctor Strange, as long as he just keeps popping up in all the other Marvel movies for like 5-10 minutes.
All right. So
it'll be kind of funny.
Here's the team. You have Thor back with the hammer. His arms all goldened out. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Captain Marvel, Black Panther, of course, Steve as Cap, Tony back as Iron Man, the Robbie Reyes version of Ghost Rider, She-Hulk looking like something in between that gray run that she's had currently and her more normal look. So
I thought she actually went full back to green because I just got that book.
Yeah, but the image, like she's kind of grayish green, and she's still looking a little bit bigger than she normally does, but it's not like to the point of what she used to look like during that run. And Doctor Strange in his current look, and supposedly he's going to be pulling as a part-time Avenger role in this story, or from this point.
When did Thor get his hammer back?
He's
not back yet.
He's going to get it back as of probably the end of the current story arc, because I think there's like one more issue of Jane as Thor.
She gonna die.
Also, I thought Tony was dead and existed only as like an AI.
No.
He got better.
He got better.
Current arc right now is he kind of did something so his body reset itself in a way that it was kind of like kind of got reborn. So he's like basically this bald guy, kind of like struggling to move around as he's kind of like semi-infantile. Well, I still think one of the greatest travesties known to man is the fact that Tony's coming back, what are they going to do with Doom? Because Infamous Iron Man was one of the greatest things I had ever read. And now it's like, what are they going to do with Doom now? But it is what it is.
Well, and then what is it? Riri Williams or whatever was also running around as a sort of
Ironheart.
Yeah, she was Ironheart. She gave up that mantle as of like I think 1 or 2 Iron Man issues ago, because they merged Infamous Iron Man and Invincible Iron Man back into just the standard Iron Man book, because they're slowly building towards Tony getting back.
That's messed up, because she was actually one of the best new characters they'd done up in a while.
Hey, there's the team. I mean, I'm just glad that they got Ed McGuinness working on it, because he's like one of my favorite artists.
Oh, like, wow, that's like an old school Cap uniform.
Oh yeah, Cap went back to his old school look once he's been like officially back.
Oh, Thor got his goatee back. Wow.
Well, he's been the unworthy Thor for a while, so
and he's been rocking that goatee the entire time, so he's keeping it.
And I kind of figured he was going to get the hammer back, because she's doing the whole fighting cancer thing,
and she's finally decided that she's going to try to actually beat the cancer, so she has to give up the hammer. But I'm glad to see that at least Thor is worthy again.
Yes.
Unless this is a red herring.
Maybe he's not worthy. Maybe it's just the hand thing.
No, he's coming back. They've been working towards that for a while now.
And he's been
Did we ever
really grown as a character? So
I can't remember, what did Nick Fury say to him to make him unworthy?
Remember that arc?
The God Killer was right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because that arc a while back, like Thor was like, yeah, he was right. We have been pretty terrible, and we need to do better.
Alrighty, well, we need to end this. We can keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, well,
BK, you must keep coming back.
You must come back.
Oh, of course.
Because for one, your anime knowledge is awesome, and you're up on the comic book stuff. So that
man,
we just need
also
to get diverse.
Also, next week it'd be nice to have someone on to talk about the fact that the greatest Marvel vs. Capcom game to come out in recent history was a Dragon Ball Z game.
You mean the only Marvel vs. Capcom game that we even remotely recognized was a Dragon Ball Z game?
Yes.
Oh man, I'm so hyped. So it's life is good. Life, you know you messed up if you lost your spot at Evo to the game that does what you did but better. That's all I gotta say.
It's so smooth. Just watching it, I could watch the people play the game for days.
Oh my goodness, and I can only imagine the madness for
So,
Barley
we'll
and
talk
Bart on
about
John.
next week.
Rebels.
And
Capcom.
Dragon Ball Fighters. Fighter Z.
I'm sure pop up. I will, well, you know what? We'll probably get in a little more in stuff from the Lost in Space Netflix series, which we didn't even come close to touching on today. Because the trailer just dropped for it. Again, I'm about it because Netflix is going to go dark and gritty with it, which it doesn't need to. Lost in Space was not supposed to be dark and gritty, but
Unless you watch that version.
we don't talk about that.
I actually like that one.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I like parts of that one.
I only liked it because Gary Oldman's in it.
Okay, let's see. Kick from server.
Hey, it was Matt LeBlanc's last chance to break away from Friends.
And he failed epically at it.
It failed, but he still tried.
I think he did a good job, just the movie failed epically.
Dude, he got upstaged by a robot.
Have you seen a Star Wars movie?
True.
Danger.
Okay, here's one for it. He got upstaged by some of the worst CGI since The Mummy, too.
Yeah, that's
savage.
Or Scorpion King.
Oh.
That's even worse.
Oh,
I like the first. Okay, I'm going to end it right there because I'm just going to make myself look bad. But
good night, folks.
Yep, you are.
We're going to say good night, folks, and definitely, BK, you got to come back.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. Next. Sorry, 'cause there's a story behind me and Jazz hands. I got it. I'll tell that after we're off the air. But we'll be back next week talking more Rebels. We'll talk the Dragon Ball Fighters and whatever else pops up. I'm sure we'll have more. Maybe we'll get an Aquaman trailer. That'd be nice.
That would be.
I highly doubt it's going to happen, but it'd be nice.
Yeah. And I guess we should quickly mention you had asked me about Movie Pass and about
yes,
fine print and all that. No, it's $10.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
I don't know where those
Ooh,
others
I
got
need it.
something different because my buddy apparently he says he's only seen a $10 a month charge, and I've got it, and all I see in the app is it's $10 a month.
Sweet.
Oh, I need that. I need that in my life so bad.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get it for the summer because there's no way I'm going to. Yeah.
Oh my God, all those movies.
Yes, so many movies.
Yeah,
So
right.
We'll be back next week. Everybody say goodnight. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Long farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Wait, we have one more swear word, don't we?
No, you used them both.
Me
no.
crab.
Oh,
Spream.
okay, fine.
Moist.
Oh,
Moist.
You're not allowed to speak here, colonizer.
Moisture in an oyster.
fuck Druckers.
With the French toast.
Okay, we're gonna try to.
Good night, folks.
I am grounded.
We're gonna try to do the closing and see if it actually stays because that opener was horrible on my end. But okay, we'll be back next week. Bye.